Oh, recording. This recording. Shalom, everyone. This is Kazakh Eliyahu Yasharal here from Just a Word. And today, we welcome you to our Shabbat teaching, whether you are listening live or whether you will be listening sometime in the future. Welcome as we go again, as you look at the caption at the side, more revelations from Revelation 12. We've looked at Revelation 12 many times, probably the chapter that we stay on the most, because this is what is happening in the world today, and most people are sleeping, so and not realizing what is happening. So we are going to look at more revelations from Revelation 12, more of what has been revealed to us from the last time we actually spoke about this. And this is very, very important to the world today, because as we said, this is taking place right before our very eyes. And most importantly, we hope that you wait till the end, because the most important thing is that there is a deception that is coming at the end upon the entire world. And if we do not understand this, then we are going to be deceived. And this has been what we have been going through. The Most High has shown us and brought some serious deceptions to us. And if we were not hanging on to the word, we could have been swept away in the deception. And we know that this is being shown to us, so that for the rest of the world, show us what is coming upon the rest of the world. So let us begin, and we know, where are we? Oh, so the very first verse in Revelation 12, verse 1, Revelation 12, verse 1. Huh? Oh, it's not showing. Revelation 12, 1. I'm coming up.
I got it anyway.
Read it, please.
And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars.
Now, that verse, if we want to look at that verse naturally, remember the book of Revelation is a dream, and dream doesn't always go literally as you say it. And in the book of Revelation, you have to understand the different meanings. So this particular verse is actually written in the heavens, written in the stars. And that's going to be one of the things that we're going to be looking at today. We have been through so much deception through Christianity, because Christianity told us that anything to do with the stars, that is evil. All right? Now, we have to understand how Satan works, and we know that Satan takes the good and twists it. All right? So, whatever there is, it's not that it is evil, but Satan finds a way to use it for evil. So, with the stars are there. The Most High writes the scriptures in the skies, and he writes the prophecies in the skies, and he tells us what is happening in the skies according to what is written. And every night, the stars play out what is written in the scriptures. And so sometimes when the prophecies are to be fulfilled, it is written in the stars. So what Satan did, Satan came with horoscope and trying to predict what will happen to people, and people using it to see what will happen in the future to them. Now that is evil. But the gospel, or the good news written in the stars, that is there for us. And people do not realize what it is actually saying. Psalms 19, verse 1.
The heavens declare the splendor of Elohim, and the firmament showeth his handiwork.
The firmament All right. Where am I now? Yes, so why are we afraid of it? Because verse 3 says,
There is no speech, no language where their voice is not heard.
so across the entire flat earth, right, George?
Yep, flat earth.
Across the entire flat earth, it speaks to us. There's no speech nor language where you cannot understand what is happening. Then verse 4 says,
Their line is gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. In them hath he set a tabernacle for the sun.
read that carefully. They are all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. So it is speaking wherever we are in this world, it is speaking to us. All right? No speech nor language where their voice is not heard. Now it says their line is gone out through all the earth. And what is the meaning of the word line there? The word line is from the Hebrew word kav, which means a cord as connecting, especially for measuring. If you see the constellations, you will see lines, cords moving from one star to the other to connect them to give you a figure. So the constellation of Leo, lines join it together to give the figure of a lion. Right? This is what it means. Their line is gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. So when you connect the lines, then they speak to us through the different constellations and how they are positioned. That's how the Most High speaks to us. He juggles them together, puts them together, and they tell a story. Verse 5.
Which is as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, and rejoiceth as a strong man to run a race.
So it's speaking about the sun here, right? So what does he say about the sun in the flat earth? Verse 19, verse 6. Chapter 19, verse 6.
His going forth is from the end of the heaven, and his circuit unto the ends of it. And there is nothing hid from the heat thereof.
All right, so the circuit from the end of it. So it's speaking about the sun. And what does circuit mean? Circuit means a revolution. That is of the sun. The course of time. Yeah? So its circuit is unto the ends of it. So they told us in school that we live on a globe, a round ball spinning through space, and we spin around the sun. That is called heliocentricity, and that comes again from the wicked lying rulers and leaders of this earth, because they worship the sun. They worship Baal, the sun god. So they want us also to worship the sun. So they say we revolve around the sun. Okay? It says his circuit unto the ends of the earth. That means the sun makes a circuit over the earth, a revolution over the earth. That is just a side note. Just have to know, can't sit there and leave it alone. All right, but that's not the main thing that we're saying. What we are saying is that the heavens speak to us. So when we go to Revelation 12 verse 1, read it again, please.
And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars.
So a wonder in heaven. All right. So when you see this, where do you need to look to find the answers? It's a wonder in heaven. Where do you need to look to find the answers? In the heavens.
Yeah.
It says a woman clothed with the sun. The sun is where? In the heavens. And the moon under her feet, and upon her crown, her head, a crown of 12 stars. This Revelation 12 prophecy lets us know that we are in the end time, because this arrangement and 17, a once in how many thousand years occurrence. And the internet. Anyway, let me just continue. And it was the constellation of Virgo, the Virgin, that was the woman, clothed with the sun. The sun was by her side, and the moon was under the feet of Virgo. And upon her head a crown of 12 stars in the constellation of Leo, the lion. 12 stars arranged over the constellation of Virgo. September 23rd, 2017. Virgo represents the Virgin. The woman represents Yasharal. and the constellation of Leo represents the 12 tribes of Israel, as well as the lion of the tribe of Judah. So this is signifying the end time return of Yahushua HaMashiach. All right. So this was September 23rd, 2017. So we have to look at the prophecies as they fulfill right now. And we know Revelation 13 is taking place before our eyes as well, with the mark of the beast. And the world was blinded, not realizing that most of the world took the mark of the beast, thinking, waiting for something else, being deceived by Satan. All right, so Revelation 12, verse 2.
And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth and pained to be delivered.
She being with child, the woman being with child, travailing in birth and pain to be delivered. So remember, written in the stars is for us to get understanding. So this pain in birth, if we go to Romans 8:18, we get an understanding of what it means.
For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the splendor which shall be revealed in us.
Continue.
For the earnest expectation of the creature waiteth for the manifestation of the sons of Elohim.
So the woman pained because of the expectation of the deliverance of us, the children of Yasharal, for the manifestation of his set apart people. And so verse 20 says,
for the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who hath subjected the same in hope.
Continue.
Because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the splendorous liberty of. For we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now.
So that's why the woman is paining to be delivered. The whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain until now. So the woman was pained to be delivered. Verse 23.
And not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Ruach, or the Spirit, even we ourselves groan within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, to wit, the redemption of our body.
So we are waiting for the adoption. Creation is groaning, waiting for the same adoption. And so the woman was pained, waiting to be delivered. As we are approaching the time of the end, it is going to be a painful time with creation involved. All right, so let's go to verse 3.
Back in Revelation.
Revelation 12, verse 3.
And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads.
All right, so this was also manifested in the heavens. Don't know when this was manifested, but we know its manifestation on the earth. Because as it is in heaven, so shall it be in the earth, right?
Yes.
That will be done. So, yeah. Yeah, so the same thing happens in the heavens, happens in the earth. Verse 4.
And his tail drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born.
And so the dragon's tail drew the 3rd part of the stars. Well, which stars are we talking about? Are they the literal stars in the heaven? Are they the literal stars in the heaven? Revelation 1:20 gives the answer. Well, it's going to be too it's not working.
Too small.
Oh. All right, Revelation.
The mystery of the 7 stars which thou sawest in my right hand, and the 7 golden candlesticks. The 7 stars are the angels of the 7 assemblies, and the 7 candlesticks which thou sawest are the 7 assemblies.
So the mystery of the 7 stars, which thou sawest in thy right hand, and the golden candlestick, the 7 stars are the angels. Come on. All right. Check 1, 2. No. Mic check 1, 2. No, wrong one. Check, check. Check. Oh. Check 1, 2. Satan, you don't want this to go through today, eh? Mic check 1, 2. Hold on. Yeah, it sounds good, but it's the wrong mic. Mic check 1, 2. It's not coming through. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. 1, 1. It's not coming through. Satan knows it. Doesn't want this to come through at all. At all, at all. What do I do? Mic check 1, 2. 1, 2. Speaker. Check 1, 2. All right, sorry about that. If you can hear me, if you can hear me. Mic check 1, 2. All right, it's coming through. Whoa. Check 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 1. All right, let's see how it goes. Where was I again?
Revelation 13, verse 1.
Yeah, Revelation 13, verse 1.
And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy.
Now, if you have been watching us for some time, you know that we have been teaching for how long? Ever since that pandemic, we have been teaching that these 7 heads are the G7 nations, the 7 head of the beast, the G7 nations. And there's another little insight. We're going to go a little byway to just give a little insight into that, because not many people, I don't know if now many people have been speaking about this, but when this was revealed, there were not, I don't think I heard anyone else speaking about these people. People were still waiting to see some beast coming out of something, but the sea refers to people. So they came out of the people. The 7 heads, the G7 nations, United States, United Kingdom, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, and Japan. These are the 7 heads of the beast. So upon his heads, the name of blasphemy. And we're going to show you that what the name of blasphemy is upon the 7 heads of the beast. So let's go there. I'm going to digress just to show this, to let people know and understand that these G7 nations, they are the 7 heads of the beast. So upon his head, the name of blasphemy. So let's go and look at that. Where should I look now? Where should I start? All right. Now, the name of blasphemy. It didn't say names of blasphemy. It says name of blasphemy. Just as when it says go and immerse them, baptize them in the name, singular, of the Father, of the Son, and of the Ruach HaKadosh, or Holy Spirit. It is speaking about one name, Yahushua HaMashiach. Likewise, it says, upon their heads, the 7 heads, the of that and says I'm gonna show the name of blasphemy. So free. I don't know how much because the Chu strike. Mic check 1 2. 1 2 2. Let me get this thing up. All right, sorry about that. Keeps breaking up. Have a very poor internet connection. So we're trying to see how best we can deal with it. All right? So, all right, let's go. All right, so we know that these people have a big G and they have a compass at the top and they have a ruler making a kind of, you know, that diamond shape. Yeah. And then the G is in the diamond. What they do, they revere the letter G. And let's see what they say about the letter G. Let's start with this. Just this chapter. This paragraph will actually start. There's so many things we could say about that. Let me see if I can get that. All right. All right, this chapter will do it. Many meanings and much history are thus gathered into the great letter. They call the G the great letter. And they start great with a big G and letter with a big L, which shows that it is worshipped. Yeah? Many meanings and much history are just thus gathered into the great letter, some of it dim and lost to us now. In our lodges and in the thoughts of the craft today, the letter G stands for geometry and also as the initial of our word God. Nor for one, nor for the other, but nearly always for both, since all masonry rests upon geometry, and listen to this, and in all its lore, Geometry is the way to God. Geometry, represented by the letter G, is the way to God. That is the name of blasphemy. Who is the way to the Most High?
Yahushua HaMashiach.
Where does the Bible tell you about geometry being the way to the Most High? So that's the name of blasphemy, G, and we're going to see how the 7 matches up with it. All right? So that is the letter G. Let's look at the 7 that they put with it. All right, so the 7 that they put with it, where is it? No, first let's look who they call God. That's very important. Because we cannot say it's the name of blasphemy without looking at who they call God. Because God, that's why we're telling people, we show people that we have a video entitled Who is God? Where we showed you that God is fortune or luck or chance. These are gods. The God of luck, the God of chance, the God of fortune. That is who God is. Because these people worship money. All right? So let's look at, I wonder if we'll get in trouble reading this. I guess we'll have to try. There is, I don't even want to call his name. What was that? Oh yeah. There is a high-ranking Freemason, very famous Freemason, wrote many books on Freemasonry. His name, Albert Pike. And he has a book, a very famous book that I won't even call the name, it's very famous, in which he told us about who they worship as God. And he said, that which we must say to the crowd is, we worship a God, but it is a God one adores without superstition. So the big G, let's see which God it is for. To you, Sovereign Grand Inspector General, we say this, and you may repeat it to the brethren of the 32nd, 31st, and 30th degrees. The Masonic religion should be by all of us initiates of the high degree maintained in the purity of the Luciferian doctrine. Their God is Lucifer. God is Lucifer. We're trying to tell people and people just will not understand, will not believe. The God that they gave us to worship is Lucifer. Let's continue. He said, if Lucifer were not God, would Adonai, the God of the Christians, so they worship Lucifer, but they call the Most High Adonai. If Lucifer were not God, would Adonai, whose deeds prove cruelty, perfidy, and hatred of man, barbarism and repulsion for science, would Adonai and his priests culminate him? So they are describing Yahuwah as being a hater of man, barbaric, repulsive to science, and all of those things. Yeah? Because, you know, Satan's people love when they are free to do whatever they want to do. So because Yahuwah has order in righteousness, they say, they turn evil to be good and good to be evil and say that Yahuwah is evil. He went on to say, yes, Lucifer is God. And unfortunately, Adonai is also God. So they're saying Lucifer is their God, but unfortunately, Yahuwah is also God. For the eternal law is that there is no light without shade. So they are saying that Yahuwah is darkness and Lucifer is light. That's why they call him the light bearer. All right? And unfortunately, Adonai is also God, for the eternal law is that there is no light without shade, no beauty without ugliness, no white without black. For the absolute can only exist as two gods. Darkness being necessary for light to serve as its foil, as the pedestal is necessary to the statue and the brake to the locomotive. Thus, the doctrine of Satanism is heresy, and the true and pure philosophical religion is the belief in Lucifer, the equal of Adonai. But Lucifer, God of light and God of good, is struggling for humanity against Adonai, the God of darkness and evil. You see? So this G in the G7 represents Lucifer. Okay? So what they are saying is Lucifer represents good. Yahuwah represents evil. Yeah? Yeah, because the Most High says he doesn't like them. Yeah? Isaiah 40 verse 17. All nations before him are as nothing, and he counts them to be less than nothing and vanity. So because they know that Yahuwah does not like them because they are evil, they turn it around and say, oh, Lucifer is good, and Yahuwah, Adonai, is evil. So just want to show you the letter G. So let's look at the number 7. Remember, we're looking at the name of blasphemy. Under his head, the name of blasphemy. So let's look at the occultic meaning of the number 7. Why they put the number 7 beside the letter G. The number 7 was considered sacred not only by all the cultured nations of antiquity and the East, but was held in the greatest reverence even by the later nations of the West. So these nations hold the number 7 to be sacred. That's why they put it beside the G. The astronomical origin of this number is established beyond any doubt. Man, feeling himself time out of mind, dependent upon the heavenly powers, ever and everywhere made earth subject to heaven. The largest and the brightest of the luminaries thus became in his sight the most important and highest of powers. Such were the planets which the whole antiquity numbered as 7. So this is why these nations, they worship the planet. So like December 25th that was gone, they worshipped Saturn through the Feast of Saturnalia, which they rebranded as Christmas. Okay? They worship these gods. And that is why in the Judaism, the religion of Judaism, they worship Yahweh, who is Yahweh, who is Jupiter. All right, these are hard truths. So, yeah, they worship the planets, all right? In course of time, these were transformed into 7 deities. See what I told you? They transformed the worship of the planets into 7 gods. The Egyptians had 7 original and higher gods. The Phoenicians, 7 Cabris. The Persians, 7 sacred horses of Mithra. The Parsees, 7 angels opposed by 7 demons. And 7 celestial abodes paralleled by 7 lower regions. Now let's get to the G7 now. We're going to see where the 7 heads of the beast came from. To represent more clearly this idea in its concrete form, the 7 gods were often represented as one 7-headed deity. One 7-headed God. That is why you have the beast of 7 heads. The whole heaven was subjected to the 7 planets. Hence, in nearly all the religious systems, we find 7 heavens. So they combined their worship of the 7 planets with their worship of the letter G, geometry, which they believe is the way to their God. They combine those together in the name of blasphemy, which is G7. So the worship is through G7. The name of blasphemy is G7. So the G7 nations, the 7 heads of the beast. So in Revelation 12, when it tells you now about in verse 1, verse 2, when it tells you about is it verse 2 or verse 3? Verse 3, when it tells you that there appeared a dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns and having 7 crowns upon his head. Those 7 heads are the G7 nations. And if you were watching carefully, it was the G7 nations that orchestrated the disease pandemic response. And these were the ones who were pushing the thing to go into your body in response to it. These are the 7 heads. This is a beast that, and taking that thing in the arm is their mark, the mark of the beast. All right? Just thought it was important for that. So let's go to verse 4 now. Revelation 12, verse 4.
And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born.
So the dragon stood before the woman to deliver her child as soon as it was born. Now, what we're going to be looking at today, from the child was born until this time, we're going to see a striking resemblance. Very striking resemblance. Because when the child was born, what happened, what significantly happened around the time that Yahusha was born? Herod tried to kill all the firstborn. That's the dragon trying to devour the child. So someone in this group had a very significant dream. Very significant dream that I'll ask her to share very soon. Now, the Most High has a way of revealing his truths. But I'm telling you. So we're going to look at Herod, because what it says here, it speaks about the dragon trying to, standing before the woman when she was ready to be delivered, trying to devour her child as soon as it was born. That is what he did with Herod. But let's go to Luke 13, 31 to 33. And we'll see Hamashiach, being an adult, saying something very significant. Luke 13, 31 to 33.
The same day there came certain of the Pharisees, saying unto him, Get thee out and depart hence, for Herod will kill thee. And he said unto them, Go ye and tell that...
Hold on. Yeah, go ahead.
And he said unto them, Go ye and tell that fox, Behold, I cast out devils, and I do cures today and tomorrow, and the third day I shall be perfected.
Go and tell that what?
Fox.
That fox. Now, those who are here with us know how significant this is. Because this day we got a dream about a fox, which we will share. And, oh boy, the Most High has been so generous in revealing all these things to us. So, Herod was called a fox. But this was not the Herod who killed Hamashiach. It was Herod the Great, who died when Hamashiach was about 4. This was his son. Yeah? So, when Herod died, he split up his kingdom with 3 of his sons. And this son that he had got Judea. Now, the father was trying to kill the son when he was born. And he's saying here that this Herod now will kill the son again. Okay? So, if this son is striving to do the same thing as his father did, if this son is a fox or was a fox, what was his father? A wolf? His father was a what? A fox. Because we're going to look at how deceptively, because we know how foxes work. They deceive. All right? They are cunning, sly. So let's see the cunning that his father used. And we're going to show that he was also a fox. And we're going to show why we are illustrating this today. Matthew 2, 1 to 12.
Now when Yahushua was born,
Hold on, please. Let me get it. Matthew 2, 1 to 12. Yeah, go ahead.
now when Yahushua was born in Bethlehem of Judea, in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem, saying, Where is he that is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east, and are come to worship him. When Herod the king had heard these things, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. And when he had gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people together, he demanded of them where Hamashiach should be born. And they said unto him, In Bethlehem of Judea. For thus it is written by the prophet, And thou, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, art not the least among the princes of Judah, for out of thee shall come a governor that shall rule my people, Yasharel, or Israel. Then Herod, when he had privately called the wise men, inquired of them diligently what time the star appeared. And he sent them to Bethlehem and said, Go and search diligently for the young child. And when you have found him, bring me word again that I may come and worship him also.
That I may do what?
Come and worship him also.
So he wanted to kill him, and he said, Bring him, because I want to come and worship him. That is a what? A fox. Sly as a fox. Verse 9. I'm going to show you something here. And should I give the dream from now? No, because they'll have to leave it again. Continue.
When they had heard the king, they departed, and lo, the star which they saw in the east went before them, till it came and stood over where the young child was. When they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceeding great joy. And when they were come into the house, they saw the young child with Mary his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented unto him gifts, gold and frankincense and myrrh.
Now, very important now, this verse.
And being warned of a lure in a dream that they should not return to Herod, they departed into their own country another way.
All right. Now, very important for those of us who understand this. The dream. I think you should just give the dream now, because so then we can explain it. Then we can explain it with this. Verse 12. Hold on. Go ahead.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Okay, so in the dream,
Hold on. Go ahead.
In the dream, I
You
found
can put it. Yeah.
closer. Okay. In the dream, I found myself in an open field, very lush and beautiful, green. And I saw there was cows and goats. Animals were there feeding. And I was admiring them because the field was beautiful and the animals, they were just gazing at peace. So at the corner of my left eye, like I saw in the clouds, I saw like a straight cloud just traveling slowly, moving slowly. So I turned my head to look closely at what was happening in the clouds, and I realized that the cloud had formed itself into a fox, and then it started moving faster, going around like towards to face me, and then it comes down on the earth. It landed in the field. The fox landed in the field, and then it started advancing towards me. And I realized that it was about to attack me. So I saw two green trees in front beside me. And I ran up into one of the trees, started climbing one of the trees. And then halfway up, I looked down and realized that the fox is still coming towards me. And then the fox, instead of coming up my tree, it went into the other tree. And I am climbing up still, and the fox is coming up on his tree. Then in between my tree and the fox tree, another tree just appear with a man. And he turned to me and said to me, I said to him, who are you? And he said, I am the defender. And I said, to defend who? And he said, you tell me. And I said, defend me because the fox is trying to hurt me. And he said to me, climb up to the top of the tree. And when you're up there, wait until the fox reach onto the top of his tree. Then you come down quickly and escape. So I climbed to the top of the tree, and then the fox came up to the top of his tree, and I slid down fast and ran. Found myself in a room, like a small room, and I sat on a chair. And then I saw the door swung open. There was a single bed in there, and the man just came in. That same defender man, he just came.
Satan, man. You see how much? You see how much? Yeah. Wow. You have a generator? You can start, you can.
Yeah, but I'm not sure what that meant.
Yeah. Wow. What a wicked Satan. Why is he wicked? Are we still on? It's still on?
We're here. You could use, you gotta use Emma.
Yeah, pass it. Yeah? What is it again? Mic check 1 1 2 1 2 1 2. Ain't getting nothing. 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2 3. You hear me on it? Then this hang up. Everything that can go wrong is going wrong. Mic check 1 2 1 2. 1 2. Oh. Mic check. It's good? All right. Huh? The video hung up. Yeah, the video hung up.
Why is the Mr. Pump with you?
You don't realize what's happening. All right, let me see if I can get this video thing going. Mic check 1 2. All right, check 1 2 1 2 1 2. Let's see where we are now. Hey, let's get back together. Hassad, where are you? Oh, you're here.
Yeah.
Wow. Huh? All right, so I think you probably need to do it again. hey. Yeah, all right, you'll probably need to do it again. Power is back. We had a power cut. Sorry for those who are out there, we had a power cut. Everything that can go wrong seems to be going wrong here today, but we are determined. We will continue with what we're doing, all right? All right, so Hassad, please repeat the dream, please.
Okay. So, found myself in a field, very lush and green, and there were animals, cow and goats. They were feeding nicely, and field was beautiful, and I was admiring them. Then, from the corner of my left eye, like I glanced something in the sky, like a cloud, and I turned my head to see what it was. There was a cloud, a long cloud, just traveling slowly, and I observed that the cloud has suddenly turned into a fox, and it started moving very fast, coming down towards the earth, and it landed into the field, and it was proceeding towards me, and I realized that it was about to attack me, coming very fast towards me. So I saw 2 trees, and the only escape I had was to climb the tree. So I started climbing the tree. Halfway up the tree, I looked down and saw that it was still coming. So when it reached below the ground, it instead of coming up my tree, it went into the other tree. And I was still climbing up, and the fox was going up his tree. Then I saw another tree appear between my tree and his tree, and a man was in the tree. And I said to him, "Who are you?" And he said, "I am the defender." And I said, "To defend who?" And he said, "You tell me." And I said, "Defend me, because the fox is trying to hurt me." And he said to me, "Climb up to the top of your tree. When you reach the top, stay up there. When the fox comes up to the top of his tree, then you get down and escape." So I did as he told me. I climbed up. When I reached the top, I observed that the fox reached up to the top of his tree. So I slid down fastly and ran. Found myself in a room, a small room, and I was sitting on a chair. Then I saw the door swung open, and the same man who says he's the defender, he came in and he sat on a bed. It was a single bed, and he was breathing like tired, breathless, out of breath. And he said to me, "I get rid of the fox. I killed him, but I did not get to kill the cow. His skin is too tough." And the tough means the skin is hard. So he said, "I killed the fox, but I did not get to kill the cow." And in my mind, I'm saying, I asked you to kill the fox, but I didn't ask you to kill a cow. And I woke from the dream. Shalom.
Shalom. All right. Thank you very, very much. So that dream is very, very vital. It might sound simple. Very vital clues to the end time. Now, what we are showing here, remember, the fox was after her, but she got a defender. If you look in the book of Matthew 2, verse 12, we saw the defender acting again. And this, when we got the dream, and we realized that we were actually living this thing with the fox, what did we say? We said, all we have to do is to be patient, and the Most High will work it out. And so said, so done. Wasn't that so? This is what happened here in the book of Matthew. The fox tried to trick the wise men into saying, all right, we're going to let you know where he is so you can go and worship him. But what did the defender do? Who was the defender here? Yahuwah. And what did Yahuwah do? He warned them in a dream. It's very important, because later on we're going to look at the deception that is coming upon the earth, the deception of the spirits of Satan pouring out water out of his mouth as a flood, and see how we are supposed to deal with that. So likewise with our experience, it was Yahuwah who came and did his thing. You have to be spiritual people and understand spiritual things. All right? Everything that transpired, no one's fault, nothing. It is the defender who came to our rescue. For those who understand what I'm talking about. All right? So the Most High warned them, and so the fox was defeated. So the Most High is always going to allow a fox, and Satan is always going to use a fox. So it is what in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. So it was when Hamashiach was born, so it is before he returns. He is going to unleash the spirit of a fox upon the earth. And we're going to look at that further on, later on. All right? So we're going to digress from that now. We'll go to verse 5. Revelation 12, verse 5.
And she brought forth a man-child, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto Allur and to his throne.
Unto Allur and to his throne. Let's look at what Revelation 19, 14 to 15 says about Revelation 12, 5.
And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean.
Hold on. Where am I? Revelation 19, 14. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Verse 15. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, and that with it he should smite the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, and he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of Almighty Allur.
So this is Hamashiach who will be coming back to rule with a rod of iron. So the Revelation 12, verse 5 is actually speaking about Hamashiach. Psalms 2, confirmation in Psalms 2, 7 to 9. Tehillim 2, 7 to 9.
I will declare the decree. Yahuwah hath said unto me, Thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron, thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel.
All right? So that is Hamashiach. Revelation 2, 26 to 27. So we have to emphasize this because there are someone was telling us that this is going to be David that is going to return. And we're seeing it quite clearly. This is Yahushua HaMashiach. Revelation 2, 26 to 27.
And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father.
So this is what it means when it says we shall reign with Yahushua HaMashiach. Just as HaMashiach shall rule them with a rod of iron, so those of us who rule with him will also rule with a rod of iron. So we go to verse 6 of the book of Revelation 12. Revelation 12, verse 6.
And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she hath a place prepared of Allur, that they should feed her there 1,260 days.
So the woman fled into the wilderness. The woman, of course, Yasharal, end time, set apart assembly of Yasharal. So the woman fled into the wilderness, where she hath a place prepared of Allur, that they should feed her there 1,260 days, 1,260 days. And of course, in the end time, many people ask about the two witnesses. It's very significant that the same 1,260 days that the woman will be in the wilderness for, That's the same time that the two witnesses will be prophesying for. Let's go to Revelation 11. I think it's about, let's Revelation. Yeah, Revelation 11, about verse 10, I think. Let's see. Revelation 11, verse 10. No, not 10. Yeah, verse 3. Revelation 11:3.
And I will give power unto my two witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth.
So this is very interesting. When the two witnesses come, will that be the exact time that his people are brought into the wilderness, away from everything? And then the two witnesses now will be a witness to the rest of the world. It's not far-fetched to think so. Anyway, let's get back to Revelation. Where were we? Revelation 2. Where were we?
Revelation 12.
Oh, 12:6, yes. So the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared of a lure. So this wilderness, of course, is prophesied in the book of Ezekiel 20:33-38. We've looked at it many times. Of course, this is a revision for those who have always been with us, but it's more additional info as well, more additional insights. Ezekiel 20, verse 33.
As I live, says Yahuwah, Elohim, surely with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out will I rule over you. And I will bring you out from the people and will gather you out of the countries wherein you are scattered, with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out.
So those people will be brought into the wilderness, will be gathered out from different countries where they are scattered. Yeah? So we are now in the time of the end, when the Most High tells us to flee out of the midst of Babylon. This is how he gets to gather us. And he tells us where we should go. And in this gathering, his people will be brought into the wilderness of the people. So the Most High swore, he says, as I live. That is him swearing. He said, surely, yeah, surely with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out will I rule over you. So he will bring us out from the people and gather us, right? And then he will do what? 35?
And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face.
Now, this wilderness of the people is very significant because it's a unique term that's very hard to understand and hard to fathom. It could mean a literal wilderness, but it says wilderness of the people. So does that mean that being brought together as a people, it will be like a wilderness experience that they went through in Egypt? Because it has been our experience here that we are brought from one experience to another. And each experience seems to be weeding out people. I don't know if you're seeing it.
Yeah.
Every experience that we're having, it clashes with people. Different things are happening and then always are weeding out somehow. Because he says, like as I pleaded with you,
like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you, says Yahuwah Elohim.
37.
And I will cause you to pass under the rod, and I will bring you into the bond of the covenant.
Cause you to pass under the rod. What does that mean? Non-stop pressure, trouble. Yeah. So those of us here, please do not feel frustrated when we're going through things. Yeah? Do not feel frustrated. No grief around here. Joy in tribulation and joy in suffering. Because he told you that he'll cause you to pass under the rod. And the rod is the pressure that comes on. But there are certain ways to go through the pressure. And those ways is to just remember his prophecies and follow his order, follow his word. All right? So what will he say he will do? 38.
And I will purge out from among you the rebels,
Hmm?
and them that transgress against me. I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn, and they shall not enter into the land of Yasharal. And ye shall know that I am Yahuwah.
So, fleeing out of the midst of Babylon, leaving your country, that is just the first stage. Yeah? How are you going to fare going through the pressure? When he puts you under the rod, when he puts all sorts of trials and tests on you, how are you going to fare? That's why I was saying the same mindset that we have in Babylon, you cannot bring it here.
No
You
way.
cannot bring it here at all. You have to start thinking differently. Be transformed by the renewing of your minds. We have to start thinking spiritually instead of thinking the same traditional way that we are. If we are not changed coming into this, we are going to be in problems because we are going to be rebels. The Most High is going to do things. His ways are not our ways. Neither our ways, his ways. He's going to do things differently. And with the same mindset of Babylon and seeing this different thing, you are going to think that something is wrong. But it's the Most High doing his thing, using it to test us. All right? I will purge out from among you the rebels, those who rebel against his instructions, those who rebel against his order, and them that transgress against me, those who continue in sin regardless. Okay? So, if you plan to leave out of the country where you have been scattered, if you have not planned for a totally different life, I'm sorry. You're going to be in trouble. It's going to be a struggle. All right? So that is the wilderness that they are going through. Isaiah 43, 19 to 21. Another witness about the wilderness. Isaiah 43, 19 to 21.
Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall ye not know it? I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert.
Continue.
The beasts of the field shall honor me, the dragons and the owls, because I give waters in the wilderness and rivers in the desert, to give drink to my people, my chosen. This people have I formed for myself. They shall show forth my praise.
All right. I give waters in the wilderness and rivers in the desert to give drink to my people, my chosen. What kind of water is this? His Ruach. He's going to pour out his Ruach or his spirit upon his people, upon his chosen. And he says he has formed them for himself. They shall show forth my praise. Okay. So Revelation 12, 7 to 9 now. Revelation 12, 7 to 9.
And there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven.
Mm-hmm.
And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
All right. Satan, the great dragon that deceives the whole world. How is he deceiving the world today? The mark of the beast. That is the biggest deception. And again, we're going to see the level of deception because we have been experiencing some of his deception. And the Most High has given us some tests of his deception that is coming upon the earth. And let me tell you something. Woe be unto the earth when all this is unleashed upon the earth. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Woe be unto the earth. Satan deceives the whole world. Revelation 19:20. Those who know this should know that we're going there. Revelation 19:20. Satan deceives the whole world.
And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worshipped his image. These both were cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone.
All right, so we tell you that these miracles that he wrought were the miracles of sorcery. Yeah? He used miracles. He used sorcery to deceive them that had received the mark of the beast. And if you're used to our teachings, you know where we're going next to show the sorcery that he used to deceive those who are on the earth. Revelation 18:23. This is the sorcery. The merchants of the earth deceived the world into taking the mark of the beast. Revelation 18:23.
And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth. For by thy sorceries were all nations deceived.
The merchants of Babylon were the great men of the earth. All right, people like the B Gates and all of those people, great men of the earth. For by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. And the word sorceries there is the word pharmakia, the Greek word pharmakia, which means medication or pharmacy. So the world, let me get it so for those who are seeing it for the first time. Revelation 18:23. Let me get it on the screen. Sorceries. Yeah. G5331, pharmakia. From G5332, medication, pharmacy. That is by extension, magic, sorcery, witchcraft. The pharmaceutical industry, sorcery. So by thy sorcery, by thy medication, were all nations deceived. So Satan deceived the world through a medication. Can you imagine? This was written 2,000 years ago. And it was prophesied that a medication would deceive the world. And people had this, we have this thing before us.
How did they know?
How did they not see it? Because those who were to see it were to see it.
Yeah.
People were to be blinded so that they could fall prey to it. All right? So this sorcery was given by the beast in Revelation 13. All right? All right, so let's go verse 10. Revelation 12, verse 10. Let's look into that.
And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our Elohim and the power of his Hamashiach. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our Elohim day and night.
So Satan accused us before our Elohim. So here's the thing now. The accuser is cast down. What did the accuser accuse us of? What did he accuse us of? Of sin. Isn't it? So to overcome the accuser, what is it important for us to do? To make sure that we do not sin. Isn't that so? 1 Peter 3:16. This is how we overcome the accuser. Because now that Hamashiach is coming, we have to be without spot nor wrinkle. We have to be blameless. Read, please.
Having a good conscience, that whereas they speak evil of you, as of evildoers, they may be ashamed that falsely accuse your good conversation in Hamashiach.
You see? Having a good conscience so that you do that which is right. So when you are accused, you come out on top. 2 Peter 3:14.
Wherefore, beloved, seeing that ye look for such things, be diligent that ye may be found of him in peace, without spot and blameless.
You see? Perfection is the game. So no accuser can get to us. Okay? Revelation 12:11.
And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, And they loved not their lives unto the death.
And they did what?
They loved not their lives unto the death.
So this is how we overcome Hasatan. So let us look how we overcome him by the blood of the Lamb. And that is in the book of Hebrews 9:12-14. You can read it on your own time. That tells us about the blood of bulls and goats that cannot purify our spirits. It purifies the flesh, but tells us how the blood of Hamashiach, then that is what gives us, purges our conscience from dead works to serve Yahuwah. So the blood of the Lamb that we overcome him with is the finished work of Yahushua HaMashiach for us. Now, overcame him by the word of the testimony. Revelation 1 verse 9 tells us how we overcome by the word of our testimony.
I, John, who also am your brother and companion in tribulation, and in the kingdom and patience of Yahushua HaMashiach, was in the isle that is called Patmos, for the word of Eluah and for the testimony of Yahushua HaMashiach.
So for the testimony of Yahushua HaMashiach. So why was John in the Isle of Patmos? Was he on vacation? No. Was he on vacation? What was he doing there?
Exiled.
He was in prison, right? So he was in prison for the testimony of Yahusha because he testified of Yahusha. So the testimony of Yahusha is that we have to be willing in the end time to be persecuted for Yahusha. Okay? So those of us who fear persecution realize that it is saying that you cannot overcome him unless you have the testimony of Yahusha. Okay? And it also says, and they love not their lives unto the death. They love not their lives unto the death. Same thing we said. You have to be willing to die. Not only to be imprisoned or be persecuted, you have to be willing to die for the testimony of Yahusha. And for that, let's go to Revelation 2, verses 8 to 10. No, it's taking a long time. We have to do something about this.
And prevailed not, neither
No,
was...
Revelation 2, 8 to 10.
Sorry, wrong one. Bear with me.
All right, let me read it. And unto the angel of the assembly in Smyrna write, these things saith the first and the last, which was dead and is alive. I know thy works, and tribulation, and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Notice it says, I know thy works and tribulation. So those who have the testimony of Yahusha must go through tribulation. And it says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So we have to be prepared to die. This is Revelation 12:11. Okay? All right, so we're touching down now. Revelation 13, 5 to 8, because we want to get to Revelation 12, about 15 or 16. About 15.
And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies.
No. Revelation 12, 12.
Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
He has a short time. And let's see how many times the devil has. Now, remember, Revelation 12 prophecy was fulfilled September 23rd, 2017. All right? 2017. I want to know what is the significance of this time. Revelation 13, verse 5. Let's see the significance of it.
And there was given unto him a mouth, speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months.
42 months, that's 3.5 years. 3.5 years from September 23rd is, when is that? Somewhere about 2024, 2017. No, that's 7 years. 7 years is 2024 because the first eclipse, the first solar eclipse took place 2017, and the second one is scheduled for 2024. So the question is, when does these 3.5 years start? That is the tricky question. All right, verse 6, continue.
And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against Allure, to blaspheme his name, and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, and to overcome them.
All right, very important. It was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. So that is why the saints will overcome them by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they love not their lives unto the death. Because the beast has been given the power to overcome the saints. So many of us saints are going to be tried unto death. Many of us are going to be under the power of the beast and will have to die to be perfected, sadly, sad to say. Sounds bad, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Leboni, what's wrong? What's wrong? Serious. Serious business. All right, read 7 again.
And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations.
But Satan has deceived the whole world, right? So because he has deceived the whole world, verse 8 says,
And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world.
So there'll be a few saints, but all those in the earth who are blinded will worship Satan. And as we said before, we saw the deception that came amongst us, and see how dangerous these ruachot, these spirits are, how dangerous Satan is. And we can understand now why it says all on the world shall worship him. Because it's very deceptive. Deception is so strong, mimicking the ruach of the Most High. Revelation 12:13.
And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child.
He persecuted the woman. So the dragon saw that he was cast onto the earth. But what will happen when he's cast on the earth? How much time is gone? There's so much to go through. Daniel 7:19-26. 47 minutes? Oh. Daniel 7:19-26.
Then I would know the truth of
Hold on, please. 19-26. Read, please.
Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devoured, brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet.
This is the end time fourth beast. All right? The people of this world call it the fourth industrial revolution. It's led by the World Economic Forum. This is the end time beast from Daniel, and we are living it right now. Verse 20.
And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes, and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows.
Mhm.
I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints, and prevailed against them.
You see it there again? Made war with the saints and did what? Prevailed against them. Yeah? And why has the Most High given us in their hands? Why? Because it's time for perfection. And for some people, only death can perfect us. Because we strive after the Most High, but we still continue to hold on to some form of sin. And because he knows our hearts and knows that we desire him, he brings us through the utmost fire, bring us through death to perfect us so we can enter the kingdom. Most of us, without death, we cannot enter. There's always going to be a blemish. And death perfects us. That sounds strange or very harsh, but that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. Verse 22.
Until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High, and the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom.
You see? So there's going to be a time of fresh problems and everything, and then the Most High is going to say, that's enough. And then the saints will be given the kingdom.
Yada Yahuwah.
Yeah. Continue.
Thus he said, the 4th beast shall be the 4th kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces.
But this is so obvious. Isn't this obvious? The 4th beast shall be the 4th kingdom upon earth, and they call their kingdom the 4th industrial revolution. They call it the New World Order. They say it's a one world kingdom, when all governments together are united. And it says it shall be diverse from all kingdoms. That means it's different from every other kingdom. Never in the history of mankind has every single nation united under one kingdom. And it says, and shall devour the whole earth. That's what it's saying. When it says it devours the whole earth, that means that everyone in the earth is under the kingdom. That's what's happening right now. So if you want to know if this is the time of the end, look at this verse.
And how long ago was this written?
Daniel was how many years? 2000 and how many hundred?
How did they know?
Huh?
How did they know?
The defender.
Yeah.
The defender gave them this for us, for our sakes. Verse 24.
And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall rise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings.
All right, we know the 10 horns are 10 power, because out of their new world order, they plan to divide the world into 10 divisions. All right, we know that about the 10 horns that is coming. Verse 25.
And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. And they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time.
You see, this is what is called the Antichrist. This is Satan coming in the earth as a man, just as how Hamashiach came as a man and is coming back as a man. Satan is going to come and possess a man, just as it did when Judas betrayed Yahusha, and the word says, and Satan entered Judas. Satan is going to enter a man, and this man is called Antichrist, Anti-Messiah, and he is going to rule the world. This is who he's talking about. Verse 26.
But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion, to consume and to destroy it unto the end.
You see? So let me tell you something. There is a spirit upon the earth that the Most High has shown us even this month. Was it across the time of a month? He showed us 3 different versions of the spirit. And that is what we want to talk to people about. 3 different versions of the anti-Messiah spirit. And it is powerful. It is deceptive.
seducing,
seducing every single thing you can think of. It is powerful. And the people in the world are just going to be deceived. As it said in the book of the Apocalypse of Isaiah, or Ascension of Isaiah, it says that almost all the people in the world, including the saints, were deceived or will be deceived by this anti-Messiah, the Ruach out. Very, very deceptive. Okay? So let's look at Satan, how he will come on this earth. Ezekiel 28, 1-19. Satan coming on this earth as the anti-Messiah. What did I say? Ezekiel what, 28?
28, 1-19.
Ezekiel 28, 1-19. These things are coming, people, so we have to be aware of them and look out for them, so we are not fooled. Read, please.
The word of Yahuwah came again unto me, saying, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, Thus says Yahuwah Eluah, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God, I sit in the seat of God, in the midst of the seas. Yet thou art a man, and not God, though thou hast set thine heart as
Not
the heart
Eluah.
of God. Eluah.
Please read it over, please. Verse 2.
Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, Thus says Yahuwah Eluah, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am Eluah. I sit in the seat of Eluah, in the midst of the seas. Yet thou art a man, and not Eluah, though thou hast set thine heart as the heart of Eluah.
So Satan is going to come on earth. It says in the Ascension of Isaiah, he's going to come and say, I am Eluah. And we saw the manifestation of this Ruach within the past month. Someone saying, I am Eluah. The same Ruach. It's like the Most High gave us a mini version of this here that is happening here. So his heart is lifted up, says, I am Eluah. So, yeah, it says he sits in the midst of the seas. So this is a man who is going to come out of the nations. All right? In the midst of the people. Verse 3.
Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee.
So what is going to happen? This man is going to be powerful. Powerful. As a matter of fact, it tells you in the book of 2 Thessalonians, it tells you that the coming of the lawless one will be with what? All power, signs, and lying wonders, and all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. Yeah? And that's what was manifested among us. Had we not hung on to the word,
Yes.
we would have been swept away by the deception. It was so convincing. So it is the love of the truth that is going to save us. Right? Right?
Yes.
Because remember, you hung on to the word and you came and they said, no, explain this. Right? It's a word that you have to hang on to. All right? And if we do not hang on to the truth, the Most High says, for this cause, Eluah shall send them a strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, that they all may be damned. That, what's the rest of it goes? That believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. So it is the truth that is going to hold us, because this Satan manifestation is going to be so convincing. Read verse 4, please.
With thy wisdom and with thine understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches, and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches.
So tell me something now. This looks like a man who has become very, very rich. There are some names that people are putting out for the anti-Messiah. And this sounds like one of them. Verse 6.
Therefore, thus says Yahuwah Eluah, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of Eluah, behold, therefore, I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom and they shall defile thy brightness. They shall bring thee down to the pit, and thou shalt die the deaths of them that are slain in the midst of the seas.
Verse 9.
Wilt thou yet say before him that slayeth thee, I am a lure? But thou shalt be a man, and no allure, in the hand of him that slayeth thee. Thou shalt die the deaths of the uncircumcised by the hand of strangers, for I have spoken it, says Yahuwah allure.
All right, and then verse 11 to 19 tells you that he is Satan. Verse 14, thou art the anointed cherub. Yeah, just want to say that it is what they call the anti-Messiah, Antichrist. All right? So this anti-Messiah, Daniel 7, 19 to 26, very important. This anti-Messiah will be king of Babylon. And we know that Babylon is a system that is upon the world. So being the king of Babylon, he is going to be king of what? The new world order that is coming. So the one world kingdom that's going to be set up. Anytime you see they set it up and you see one person ruling, one person leading, that person will be the anti-Messiah. Daniel 7, 19 to 26 tells us he will be the king of Babylon. Babylon is going to have one end-time king. Daniel 7. Daniel 7, 19.
Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devoured, brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet.
So this is the new world order. It's devoured, break in pieces. So all the different alliances and everything that are upon this world, broke them in pieces, and he stamped the residue with his feet. So if you as a nation want to stand up against this order, you know as a leader that they're going to get rid of you. Yeah? Any nation that comes up and speaks about them, you are going to be taken out. We saw during the time of this thing that they put in the people's arms, the leaders of the nations who opposed it, they died suspiciously. It was here that they died, and somebody replaced them. All right, this is the fourth kingdom that is upon the earth. Verse 20.
And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes and a mouth, that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints, and prevailed against them.
All right, hold on. Verse 20. Oh, it's a wrong. I think it's the wrong thing that I put there. No, it's the wrong thing I put there. Let me see. I made a mistake. All right, I don't know where to find that one now. All right, so let's go to verse 14. I don't know where to find that one.
In Daniel 7.
Yeah, no, Revelation 12, 14. And to the woman
were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time and times and half a time from the face of the serpent.
I think this is kind of a repeat of Revelation 12, 6. So we'll go down to Revelation 15, and we had already looked at verse 6. Let's go down to Revelation 12, 15.
And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood.
All right, Satan cast out water as a flood after the woman. Now, this water as a flood that he cast out, of course, is unclean, ruach, unclean spirits. Satan cast out after the woman. And for that proof, because you know, scriptures prove scripture. If we say unclean, it is unclean spirits, I guess we have to prove it. Isaiah 44, verse 3. Isaiah 44, verse 3.
For I will pour water upon him that is thirsty, and floods upon the dry ground. I will pour my ruach upon thy seed, and my blessing upon thine offspring.
So we have a colon there after the first part. For I will pour water upon him that is thirsty, and floods upon the dry ground. It is speaking of pouring out of his ruach. More proof. John 7:37 to 39.
In the last day, that great day of the feast, Yahushua stood and cried, saying, If any man thirst, let him come unto me and drink. He that believeth on me, as the scripture hath said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water.
Continue.
But this spake he of the Ruach, which they that believe on him should receive. For the Ruach HaKodesh was not yet given, because that Yahushua was not yet glorified, magnified.
So it's saying, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water, but it's telling that it spake of the Ruach, of the Spirit. So when we see Satan casting out floods after the woman, it is unclean Ruach that he is casting out after the woman. All right? So let's get down to business now, because this is where we are now. And this is the message that we want to give to people about the unclean, the flood, Satan pouring out water as flood after the woman. We've seen this before so many times ever since we've decided to follow the Most High's instructions and move away from where we were to be gathered together. Here, we've seen people being transformed. We've seen people change into different people and become enemies, fighting against us, fighting against. We've seen people who have been among us just suddenly just change their personality and become hateful towards us for no reason. Different personality they have been taking on. Satan has been pouring out his ruach upon people in this end time. And we have seen, and I have been witnessing, and I've seen people being hit and seen people with the ruach being led by ruach, and I just have to be listening. I just have to be watching. I just have to be, being sorry for what I am seeing. Because it is easy to be carried away let me tell you how Satan gets you carried away. If there is any trauma where we're finding out about grief, etc., how we can get in problem with grief. If there's any trauma, if we have any loss or desires, Satan will sweep you away. If you are a believer today, you have to be sold out. You have to deny self and have to be sold out, or else Satan's going to get you. You have to be 100% in line with the word of truth, 100% in line with his word. You cannot be rebellious to him, of course. You cannot have love for self and not love your neighbor as yourself. So many different things. Satan can sweep you away. And that is what we have seen here. So remember earlier, Hassad had given us her dream about the fox. And we showed that in the beginning, Satan used the spirit of a fox in Herod to try to kill the son as soon as it was born, according to Revelation 12. But now we are at Revelation 15, where he's going to be pouring out water as the flood after the woman. And the Most High has shown us that he is going to be pouring out the spirit of a fox upon the earth. He has shown us the manifestation in 3 different ways this month of the spirit of this fox. So that is why he gave her the dream about the fox, to give us an understanding of how the Ruach is going to be manifesting itself. So, oh boy, I mixed this up. No, oh, I was at 15. Okay. So, the fox in the dream, the fox in the beginning when Yahusha was born. We're gonna look at the use of fox in the scriptures so we get an understanding of this ruach, of this spirit that is going to deceive the whole world. In Songs of Solomon 2, verse 15, it says, "Take us the foxes, the little foxes that spoil the vines, for our vines have tender grapes." All right? Bring the foxes to us, the little foxes that spoil the vines. So the fox is given to do what? Spoil the vines. For our vines have tender grapes. So the grapes are tender, and the fox will spoil the vines to get to the tender grapes. So when we got the dream, because we were looking to the stars, because the Most High is pointing us to the stars, because since we've come here, so many things are shown us in the heavens, happening in the heavens, so many supernatural things happening in the heavens, like he's saying, look up. And what did Hamashiach say? Look up. Your salvation draw now. This is what he said. We need to be looking up. That's why we're getting all of those supernatural things with the stars that we are seeing before our eyes, the stars moving, etc., before our eyes. So when we got the dream, first place I looked, wonder if there's a constellation of fox. So I looked up and I found out that there was a constellation of what? Song of Solomon says, take us the foxes, the little foxes. There's a constellation called Vulpecula, which is known as the constellation of the little fox. What a coincidence, though. The scripture tells us about the little fox, and there's a constellation, little fox. The entire Bible is up there. And as the stars move and rotate and move in their different positions, that's the Bible story is being told. Yeah? So let's see what it says about the little fox. Vulpecula constellation has not been named after a figure in mythology like most other constellations. It was introduced by Johannes Hevelius in 1687. Hevelius placed it near two constellations that also represent hunting animals: the eagle, Aquila, and the vulture, which the constellation Lyra used to be associated with. So, who is the Bible? Who does the Bible associate with the eagle? Huh? No, a specific nation. Huh? Edom. Edom is associated with eagle. Though you soar as an eagle, the book of Obadiah, it's in different places. So Edom is associated with the eagle. So the fox is right beside the eagle. And also right beside what? The vulture. So who is the vulture? Who is the vulture? Let's go to the book of Obadiah. Let's go to the book of Obadiah. I think it's about Obadiah 1 verse 6. 5 to 6, I think. Obadiah 1. Verse 5. No, let's start from 4. Here's the eagle now. Verse 4.
Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle.
As the what?
The eagle.
Edom.
Though thou set thy nest upon among the stars.
And thy nest among the stars. I'm telling you. What are we talking about? Aren't we talking about the stars and the constellation and the eagle?
Yeah.
So where does he set his nest? Oh. Continue.
Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, says Yahuwah.
No, sorry. That was the eagle. Now we're going to talk about the vulture now. Because remember, when a vulture comes, it just cleans up everything, doesn't it? Go ahead.
If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up?
That's telling you, the vulture, that's Edom. He doesn't leave anything for anyone. And it's telling you, how are the things of Esau searched out? In other words, can't you see now who Esau is? How are his hidden things sought out? That's Edom. All right? So we have the fox, and we have the vulture, and we have the eagle. All of them together. So the fox is going to come through Edom. In the beginning, when Hamashiach was to be killed, what nation do you think Herod was from? Edom. As it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. Esau is the beginning of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. So Esau is going to be right until the end time. So this fox is going to be the nation of Edom that is ruling the world. That is going to deceive the world, and that is deceiving the world. Who gave us the thing in the arm?
Edom.
Edom. People, let us not be fooled. Edom. Out of the G7 nations, 6 out of 7 nations that rule the world are from the nation of Edom. They are the dangers in this world. These are the foxes. And when they go up to speak, everybody take them sincere. Everybody love them, and everybody goes up and they talk about them and call their names. Eh? Like they are some rock stars. How wicked Satan leading these people to deceive us. Who do you think Satan deceived the world through? Through them. Edom runs the United Nations. Edom runs NATO. Edom determines where the world goes. Edom runs the World Economic Forum. They run everything to do with this world. All right? So the fox, the deception is going to come through Edom. Continue. Hevelius said that vel vulpecula et ansa, or the little fox with the goose, represented a fox carrying a goose for Cerberus, the dog that guarded the entrance to the underworld in Greek mythology. So the fox is up there, and the fox shows us that it is Edom. But there is a fox personality. There are people who will profile and tell you what the fox, the nature of the fox. And then they tell you this personality that is manifested in man. So let's look at the fox personality. The fox personality. They say the fox has developed an unfair reputation for slyness and manipulation. So the world, we're talking about deception in the world is going to be led through slyness and manipulation. Think of what happened with this pandemic that was on the earth. What a deception it was. When we were there trying to tell people, well, no, don't be fooled. Man, it was like we were talking to a wall. They had the people wrapped up, manipulating the people through the news media and through fear and all sort of things. Yeah? Watch out for Edom. Number 2, the female of the species is called a vixen with a sharp mind and equally sharp tongue. Sharp mind, which means they are very, very sly, very, very smart. Yes? And remember, we experienced a fox. Remember that. In recent times, we experienced a fox. Number 3, the fox relies on its sharp mind and engaging personality to garner resources. Because we have more than one foxes among us. Yeah. Because it spends so much time in its head, giving the impression that it's trying to outsmart everyone. The fox isn't surprised that others find its intellectual pursuits quite intimidating and often annoying. So they spend a lot of time in their head in order to trick, manipulate, deceive others. Number 4, their love of exploration dovetails with their passion for overcoming challenges, which is why foxes are often found mountain climbing or journeying to exotic, forbidden places. Foxes choose subtlety and cunning over brute strength and are unquestionably hunter personalities. They choose subtlety. Remember, who was subtle? Huh? Who was subtle? The serpent was subtle more than any other beast. All right? So they use subtlety and cunning. They will trick you. So the deception that's coming on the earth through this fox spirit is going to be hard for people not to be deceived. Hard. And are unquestionably hunter personalities. When you're a hunter personality, what do? You pick out people. Yeah. You pick out who you think you can prey on and take them aside and try to work on them. Yeah?
Stalk.
Number 6, their single-mindedness often blinds them to the feelings of others. Because they are so focused on what they are doing, they are blinded to the feelings of others. This is why the people in the world, when they are doing this thing, they are so heartless. When they are giving the mark of the beast, they are so heartless. They don't care whether they are killing people. Look at this thing that they have given people. How many people are dying and all of that? They don't care. They are blinded because of their aim. They want to achieve their aim. All right? And if you have people among you who are foxes, they are not really going to be congenial. They are not going to show any love for people. They are going to be loners. They are going to not be able to integrate and with others. All right? Number 7, foxes prefer consensus in partnership decisions. They usually dominate discussions and steer plans to reflect their own agenda.
Drop the mic.
Number 7, foxes prefer consensus in partnership decisions. They usually dominate discussions and steer plans to reflect their own agenda. Now hear this again. Competent in a wide range of fields, foxes are particularly well suited with a career as computer programmers, lawyers, doctors, or politicians. Or politicians. So hear this. When we are in unrighteousness, the foxes are able to walk upon us. Lamentations 5 verse 18. You see, the only way to overcome the fox is to walk in truth, in perfect righteousness, without spot or wrinkle. Lamentations 5:18 says,
because of the mountain of Zion, which is desolate, the foxes walk upon it.
No, say it slower. Read it slower, please.
Because of the mountain of Zion, which is desolate, the foxes walk upon it.
You see? When we are desolate, the foxes are able to walk upon us. And that is why people who will be swept away are people who are not straight. How should I say it? People are not striving after perfection. We have some lust, some desire, something that has them exposed to the wicked. Okay? So, what happens today? Hear the prophecy now in Ezekiel 13, 1 to 9. Ezekiel 13, 1 to 9. Because we're talking about Edom being foxes, but it's not Edom alone. Ezekiel 13, 1 to 9.
And the word of Yahuwah came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy against the prophets of Yasharal that prophesy, and say thou unto them that prophesy out of their own hearts, Hear ye the word of Yahuwah. Thus says Yahuwah Eluah, Woe unto the foolish prophets that follow their own ruach or spirit, and have seen nothing.
I want you to pay very close attention to this, people. Woe unto the foolish prophets that follow their own ruach and have seen nothing. We have had this experience. Look at it carefully. And what is it saying in verse 4?
O Yasharal, thy prophets are like the foxes in the deserts.
Oh, Father, you are so great. Huh? Verse 5.
Ye have not gone up into the gaps, neither made up the hedge for the house of Yasharal to stand in the battle in the day of Yahuwah.
They have made us powerless with their deception. Verse 6.
They have seen vanity and lying divination, saying, Yahuwah saith, and Yahuwah hath not sent them. Let me read that again. They have seen vanity and lying divination, saying, Yahuwah saith, and Yahuwah has not sent them. And they have made others to hope that they would confirm the word.
And they have made others to hope that they would.
But it takes hours to get the confirmation, doesn't it? Hours and hours, round in circles.
Verse 7.
Have ye not seen a vain vision? And have ye not spoken a lying divination? Whereas ye say, Yahuwah saith it, albeit I have not spoken. Therefore, thus says Yahuwah Eluah, because you have spoken vanity and seen lies, therefore, behold, I am against you, says Yahuwah Eluah.
And verse 9.
And my hand shall be upon the prophets that see vanity and that divine lies. They shall not be in the assembly of my people.
Oh boy.
They shall not be in the assembly of my people. Neither shall they be written in the writing of the house of Yasharal.
Oh boy.
Neither shall they enter into the land of Yasharal. And
ye
ye shall know that I am Yahuwah Eluah.
Oh boy. The Most High has spoken.
They shall not be in the assembly of my people.
The Most High has spoken.
Yeah. All praise to the Most High.
Now, when I speak about the Ruachot that we have encountered, we have encountered three different set of Ruachot throughout this past month. And all three are anti-Messiah Ruachot. Now, the first Ruach, the first spirit, let me see if I had it. I don't think I had it here. All right. The first spirit that we came upon was a spirit that says, Yahuwah had spoken, and when we matched it with the word, Yahuwah had not spoken. So because we had such respect and honor to the Most High and feared going against the Most High, when this person said Yahuwah spoke, we strive to listen. But every time we strive to listen and match it up with the word, we realize it was not there. So it was a very powerful ruach. It was so convincing. And it came with signs and lying wonders. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So that's why the word helped us there. All right? Then during that time also, we went, so that ruach, to put it to the anti-Messiah ruach. Let's go to 1 John 4:1-2 to see what we're speaking about with anti-Messiah. Then we can continue. Because we're saying this for the benefit of the world, to let you know that this what we got is a sample of what is coming upon the world. And you have to be aware of these spirits. So we are laying it out for you, what you have experienced, so you know what to look out for. 1 John 4:1-2. Let me get it on this, please. 1 John 4:1-2. Go ahead, please.
Beloved, believe not every ruach, but try the ruachoth, whether they are of Eluah, because many false prophets are gone out into the world.
Many false prophets are gone out into the world. Verse 2.
Hereby know ye the ruach of Eluah. Every ruach that confesses that Yahushua HaMashiach is come in the flesh is of Eluah.
All right, so to confess that he comes in the flesh, the meaning of flesh there, let's get it on the screen for those who have never seen this before. The meaning of flesh. Flesh is sarx, and it says probably from the base of G4563, flesh as stripped of the skin, that is strictly the meat of an animal as food, or by extension the body as opposed to the soul or ruach or spirit. So you have to confess that the Messiah came as a man in the flesh, just like me, just like you. That is what you have to confess. If you confess that, then you are of Eluah. Because it goes on to say, or as the symbol of what is external, not internal, spirit, or as the means of kindred. This is by where you get kindred, my cousin, my brother, through the flesh. Or by implication, human nature with its frailties, physically or morally, and passions, or specifically a human being. You have to confess that he came as a human being, or specifically, as such, carnally minded, fleshly. Now, the word anti also means in place of, in the place of, replacing. So it does not only mean speaking about in the flesh, it also means if you seek to replace HaMashiach. Yeah? That is anti-Messiah. If you want to rob him and take him out of the way, then you are against him. You are anti-Messiah. So the first ruach that we came upon was one that told us that the Messiah did not die for our sins. He died for his sins to show us how we should also pay for our sins. And the person, the Spirit, told us that you have to know, to pay for your own sins, you have to go and sprinkle an animal from the blood of a heifer, going right back to the old covenant. Now, going back to the old covenant is actually removing the work of HaMashiach, of his blood, that in Hebrews, it tells us once and for all, he has replaced all the sacrifices. So that is the anti-Messiah spirit, and that is how that one was manifested. Now, another anti-Messiah fox spirit, fox personality spirit, and both so far were the two foxes. Fox personality spirit came was among us, and that spirit was telling us of how an angel manifested certain things unto him, and he was so convinced. Yes. So the anti-Messiah, thank you. The anti-Messiah spirit now was manifested in him when he said that Hamashiach is the bread of life. It means that he is literal bread. Right? Remember, you have to confess that he came in the flesh. Yeah. Now he's saying that he is bread, and he said he tasted Hamashiach already. And he also said that he's David that is to come. When he got there, he got too much. And the flesh is no different from the spirit. So that now removes the coming in the flesh, because the flesh now is no different from the spirit. So the flesh is the spirit and the spirit is the flesh. So that is not confessing that Yahusha came in the flesh. That is the anti-Messiah spirit. Yes, I'm going to go there. So let's just look at the manifestations. One saying that he is of Yahuwah. One said he got revelation through angels. Now the third anti-Messiah Ruach that we came upon was a local prophet. And when we visited the prophet with a word to speak to him, to bring the word of truth to him, he would not hear anything. And he said, he told us that he knows the Bible, and he told us his source. He said he met in an accident, and he had a relationship with the Holy Spirit before, and after the accident, his relationship was heightened, because while he was in a coma, while he was in hospital, the Holy Spirit told him that the Bible is like a play, and the people in there are like actors. They are not real. And that Hamashiach is a spirit. He was not a physical man. He was a spirit. Bam! That's the third anti-Messiah spirit. Because he's now confessing that Yahusha is not confessing that Yahusha came in the flesh. He's saying Yahusha is a spirit. Okay? So we're speaking to him about Israel. It was to no avail. He said Israel is in the spirit. You are Israel in the spirit. There's no Israel in the flesh. So he directly does not confess that Yahusha came in the flesh. So we see three manifestations. One, man saying that Yahuwah is speaking through him, because when he's speaking, he says, I am Yahuwah. And he's speaking in the first person as if he is Yahuwah. The second person was speaking about an angel, and the third person was claiming that it was the Holy Spirit, Ruach HaKadosh. Yes? Now, let me tell you something, people. This is just a sketch of what the Most High was showing us, because the first one was very convincing. Very convincing. Even make you start wondering, what happened? Because this person was someone you know, and then the person coming with that, you're saying, wow, this man must have stepped up in the Ruach, and the Most High is now speaking through him. So the world is going to be faced with all different types of Ruach, including these foxes, because the prophet has a business going, really. It doesn't charge you, but you contribute when he comes and he speaks to you. Yeah? If he is as the anti-Messiah Ruach, the decisions on what he's making, do you think is making the decisions? It's Satan that is telling people. So these people are now, and a whole lot of people listen to him and follow him. I hear he even has a radio program. Yeah. So that is dangerous. These are the Ruach, the spirits that are going to be upon this earth. And the people, Satan pours out water as a flood, Because what does it say in verse 17 as we end up now? We finish let's finish Revelation 12. This is the last one.
Can I just add something
Yeah.
that we recognized in each of these?
Yeah.
The scripture says that pride comes before a fall. Satan is so egotistical that he exposes himself with pride.
Yeah.
Because out of every conversation with these people, you only have to wait for a matter of time before they just explain to you how much higher in their revelation or knowledge of the scriptures they are than you.
Mm-hmm.
And they make you feel like, whoa, I don't compete with you, you are much higher. But this is the pride and the egotistical nature that they have. They can't hold it back. Somewhere in their conversation and their babbling comes out that you don't understand the level of teaching that I know.
Yeah.
And it's pride, but they each come out with the same thing
Yeah.
somewhere along their session.
Yes.
And Satan can't help himself.
Yeah. Has to boast.
Yeah. Boastful. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's why it is important for us to be doing this now. Because we are going through our tests and our trials. Revelation 12:17 says,
17 says, and the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of Elohim and have the testimony of Yahushua HaMashiach.
so we have some people are going to go into the wilderness. Satan is going to try after the woman who goes into the wilderness. Okay? And he's going to fail. Because it says in verse 16 that the earth helped the woman. I didn't do 16. Yeah. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth. Now, this one was a strange one until Hassad's dream. I am kind of getting the understanding of this. Kind of. Because in her dream, she was going up a tree to hide from the fox. The fox was coming, but then the fox went up another tree. Yeah? And when the fox was climbing up his tree to meet her at the top, a tree grew up out of the ground between her tree and the fox's tree. There was a third tree out of the ground. And out of the ground came the what? The defender. So the defender is going to come up out of the earth. It is going to be Yahuwah Sabaoth, the defender. And remember, in the time of Herod, how were the wise men warned? They were warned in a dream. Right? How were we warned in this case with the fox? We were warned in a dream. So many people here don't know that those of us who knew the dream already knew how it was going to end. We knew the dream. We knew how everything was going to end because of the dream. And so we said, let's just do our best until see if we can snatch this person out of it, out of the clutches of Satan, because we knew that it was referring to him as well. Okay? So it is this coming up in the middle. The Most High coming up in the middle to protect us. That is the earth opening up our mouth. So this happened with us. We are living this, or we have lived this. So for the world, it's very important. Verse 17. Read it again, please.
And the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which kept the commandments of Elohim and have the testimony of Yahushua HaMashiach.
So the fox coming among Yahuwah's people who have gathered together, fleeing out of the midst of Babylon, When Satan sees that he cannot prevail here, what is he going to do? He's going to be wroth. He's going to be angry. And he's going to go to make war with the remnant of the seed, not of those who are seeking to flee into the wilderness, but of those who remain in Babylon. So the rest of the people who decide to remain in Babylon, Satan's wrath is going to be upon them. And remember, how many stars did Satan still bring down? A third of the angels in heaven. So think about Satan now being wrath, and come with a third of the demons in heaven upon the earth. Can you imagine what's going to happen? Can you imagine what's going to happen to the people in the world? Oh boy. And let's see what it says in the book of, we can read Matthew 24, 7 to 14 to see the tribulation that is coming, but let's go and see in the book of, where should we go? The Apocalypse of Abraham. The Apocalypse of Abraham, to tell us, the Testament of Abraham, I think, to tell us what is going to happen when Satan becomes wrath and goes in the world to do his thing.
You nearly got me on that one.
I'll read it.
I got it.
Oh, you got it.
Where are you? What page?
Chapter 30. Verse 1.
Do you have a page number for that?
Oh, it's different. All right, let me read it. And while he was still speaking, I found myself on the earth, and I said, Eternal Mighty One, I am no longer in the splendor in which I was above and all that my soul desired to understand in my heart, I do not understand. So Abraham was telling the Most High, I don't understand what I have seen. And he said to me, I will explain to you the things you desired in your heart, for you have sought to know the 10 plagues which I prepared against the heathen, and I prepared them from beforehand in the passing of the 12 hours on earth. Hear what I tell you, it will be thus. So Satan is going to come with his tribulation as in Matthew, and the Most High is going to come with his set. Here's what is going to come on the earth. The first, sorrow from much need. So what's going to happen? Babylon's system is going to tear down. There's going to be war, and there's going to be economic hardship, collapse of the dollar, collapse of the stock exchange, etc. The second, fiery conflagrations for the cities. So the cities are going to be burning down. All right? Notice it doesn't say fiery conflagration for the fields. It says for the cities. And the cities, of course, include any organized built-up area. The third, destruction by pestilence among the cattle. The fourth, famine of the world, of their generation. The fifth, among the rulers, destruction by earthquake and the sword. The sixth, increase of hail and snow. The seventh, wild beasts will be their grave. The eighth, pestilence and hunger will change their destruction. The ninth, execution by the sword and flight in distress. The 10th, thunder, voices, and destroying earthquakes. You see that voices there? What do you think those voices are going to be coming from? People are going to be hearing voices. What voices do you think? Unclean ruakoth. You see why we have to flee out of the midst of Babylon. Verse 31 says, and then I will sound the trumpet out of the air, and I will send my chosen one, having in him one measure of all my power, and he will summon my people. Look at that. What did he say? Hamashiach will have one measure of Yahuwah's power. One measure. So with one measure of Yahuwah's power, he can subdue the whole world. Man, what a power. Yeah. And then I will sound the trumpet out of the air, and I will send my chosen one, having in him one measure of all my power, and he will summon my people, humiliated by the heathen. And I will burn with fire those who mocked them and ruled over them in this age, and I will deliver those who have covered me with mockery over to the scorn of the coming age. Because I have prepared them to be food for the fire of Hades, and to be ceaseless soaring in the air of the underworld of the utmost depths, the contents of a wormy belly. So that is what is coming from Yahuwah. In Matthew 24, as we showed you, we can see what else is coming on the earth. Also in the book of, where is it? In the book of Apocalypse of Baruch, or second Baruch, it also tells us about the 10 plagues. Let me see if we can get it. The Apocalypse of Baruch. Second Baruch, is it 29? Second Baruch 29. Let's see. No, 27. 27. Yeah, second Baruch 27. Coming up, people. That's how it is with prophecy. It's not a nice, pleasant thing to listen to.
Chapter 27.
Yeah. But it is what it is. I'm trying to get this.
I've got it here.
Yeah, but it reads differently.
Yeah, this is the Shifa.
All right, trying to get this thing. All right, and Yahuwah answered and said to me, the time will be divided into 12 parts. Each part has been preserved for that which it was appointed. In the book of 2nd Baruch, it's telling us that everything will be mixed up. Yeah? He said in the first part, the beginning of commotions. In the second part, the slaughtering of the great. In the third part, the fall of many into death. The third, the drawing of the sword. In the fifth part, famine and withholding of rain. Hey, come on. Famine and withholding of rain. Let me get this thing set up. All right. Famine and withholding of rain. In the sixth part, earthquakes and terrors. In the eighth part, hear this. It expounded on what we had in Abraham. In this eighth part, a multitude of ghosts and the appearances of demons. Hey, hell is going to come on this earth. I have no idea what's going to come. And the whole world is sleeping, lulled to sleep by the foxes of Edom. You know what Edom has done? Perfected the art of putting us to sleep. They give us a Christian religion to lull us to sleep. They told us only 66 books, so we would not have access to these books that will tell us the truth. Yeah? They lulled us to sleep with the television, hypnotizing us with the television, with the news presenters who will stare straight in your eyes and tell you lies that they are reading from the teleprompter. Huh? No, she's okay. Yeah. They have the teleprompter up there. They script the news. The news presenter is just reading what they have programmed them to program us. So they're reading the teleprompter, looking straight in your eyes. When someone looks straight in your eyes and keeps talking, that's hypnosis. And they look straight in your eyes and tell you the lies. And you keep believing the lies. and lulled asleep with this false sense of assurance that everything will be okay. So they gave you the pressure of this disease upon this earth, and you were locked away, and they locked you in and made you take away your freedom. So when you got released, you felt so free and so nice. All you can think about is what to enjoy in what you see. Not thinking about the things of the Ruach, these things that are right at our very door. All right? That is Edom, the fox. Sly, old fox. Now the 8th part, a multitude of ghosts and the appearance of demons. It's going to be dreadful. Can you imagine that? The demons are going to actually appear themselves, and people are going to be shocked and not know how to deal with this thing. In the 9th part, the fall of fire. And this is in Revelation 16. And that tells you that the sun is going to scorch people. Yeah. In the 10th part, rape and much violence. In the 11th part, injustice and unchastity. In the 12th part, disorder and a mixture of all that has been before. These parts of that time will be preserved and will be mixed one with another, and they will minister to each other. I want you to listen to this very carefully now. For some of these parts will withhold a part of themselves and take from others, and will accomplish that which belongs to them and to others. Hence, listen to this. Hence, those who live on earth in those days will not understand that it is the end of times. You see? It's going to be such a deception. Those who live on the earth are not going to understand. Isn't that what it is today? Means that people are just going through the routines. Yeah. If we don't tell people that's the end of the time and wake them up and show them scripture and everything, they don't realize. This is what is happening. They don't know that it's the end of the times. Everybody thinks it's business as usual. So that's what we have to say for today. What did Hamashiach say? When you see these things happening, do what? He also said, look up because your redemption draweth nigh. Isn't it? Flee out of the midst of Babylon and save every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of Yahuwah's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. We are at Revelation 18. Let's go. Revelation 18, start at verse 1.
And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his splendor. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul ruach, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird.
This is Babylon. This is where Babylon is today. Is become the habitation of devils. So as long as you are in the midst of Babylon, you are in the habitation or the dwelling place of devils. Yeah. And the hold of every foul ruach, every foul spirit. So when you are in the midst of Babylon, you are in the territory of every foul spirit, every bad spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. A cage, when you're in a cage, you're locked in, isn't it? So when you're in Babylon, you're in that cage, locked in. And it tells you why. Now, in verse 3, it tells us that we cannot escape Babylon, whichever nation we are in. Because
for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies.
You see? All nations, every nation have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Every nation today is in Babylon's system. Every one of the nation. All right? The merchants of the earth were waxed rich to the abundance of her delicacies, because we know Babylon. Babylon is based on merchandising, commercial buying and selling. That's why they can control in the mark of the beast and say you cannot buy nor sell if you do not have the mark. And of course, that is coming with that passport thing that they are coming. Eventually, it's going to come. All right? People are looking for it to come now. It's going to come at the time when they are ready to activate that abomination. All right? So, because of that, verse 4 says,
And I heard another voice from Shemayin, or heaven, saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues.
come out of her. Because if you don't come out of her, you will be partaking of her sins. As long as you are in there, as long as you're in Babylon, you're going to be partaking of her sins. And if you partake of her sins, it says, and that you receive of her plagues. Yeah. So as long as you're in Babylon, you're going to be partaking of her sins, you're going to receive of her plagues. And verse 5 tells us why.
For her sins have reached unto Shemayin, heaven, and Eluah hath remembered her iniquities.
And what is he going to do?
Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double.
All right? That's it. People, let us not continue to be deceived. Let us wake up. Yeah? Blindness in part has happened to Yasharal, Romans 11:25. Until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in. The Gentiles are at the time, the end of their rope. Their time is coming to an end. The blindness is being taken away from the eyes of our people. Let us wake up, people, and let us not be deceived. All right? So that was a look at the book of Revelation chapter 12 with some deeper insights into it. Yeah. Huh? You're saying something? Okay. What's the video? Oh yes, the video we did about the end time anti-Messiah king. Yeah, that one would give more insight into this. This one as well. All right. So thank you all for watching. This is Kazak Eliyahu. Are there any questions in the YouTube chat? Anyway, another any other questions? Anyone see any other questions? I don't think so. All right. So, yeah, that's it. Please share. Share if you care. Comment are welcome. Please comment, please, so that the video can run through YouTube's algorithm. The more comments, the more likes, etc. That the more likes, the more comments, the longer the video will stay up and the more it will go through the rotation. All right? Please share, like as well. Pardon? Yeah, September 23rd, 2017. The woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet and the crown of 12 stars. All right, we just know we are in the region of the end time. We are in the last days before the coming of Hamashiach. All right? All right. So,
Shalom, Brother C. Someone in YouTube is asking how they can get in contact with you.
hey,
Name, rank, and serial number.
hey, we are very scared of people, Marika. We are very, very scared of people. Very, very, very cautious. You would never understand what we're saying unless you were here. You don't understand. There are high level spiritual activities taking place. If people were here, they have no idea. They have no idea the spiritual battles that are taking place here. We can't explain it. Huh? Let them send a message on. Somebody just tell them to send a message on through our website. We're very, very, very scared of anyone. Scared of everybody. Man, people come here and when the spirits take them, I'm telling you. You see, if you are not strong, firm, rooted, you're gonna be ripped apart. High level, Satan poured out water as a flood. And those people who are intend to come here, let me warn you. Let me warn you. If you're coming with the same mentality as Babylon, it's not going to work. It is Emunah that keeps us here. The strength of Emunah. The willingness to leave everything behind. If people are looking to resettle, it's not going to work. It has to be a sacrifice of what you're willing to sleep out in the bushes, willing to that type of mindset in which anything is anything. If you're looking for a comfortable place, a comfortable walk, it's not going to work. It's not going to work at all. Yeah? Yeah?
Somebody said Fox knocking on the door.
Yes. We are very much afraid. I don't know.
The true characteristic of a fox is a hunter, like the jackals out there and the wolves.
Yes.
But I was saying to one of the twins before, when the fox goes into the chicken coop to catch food, it doesn't just take one chicken, it destroys the whole chicken coop. Yes. It will wipe out however many chickens are in there, it destroys the lot because it goes into a panic and a frenzy. Yes. And that's a wild spirit, that. Yeah. So not just coming here to catch one. Yeah. It wants to destroy the whole lot.
Yeah. Ah. Hold on. Let me go there because you're not gonna come and talk. Will you? Yes, the mic is there. Yeah. All right. Where you been? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying if you look at the Strongs of the word fox that is used in Songs of Solomon 2, verse 15 that you read, né?
Yeah.
It says fox. The definition is fox, and then it says perhaps a jackal. So I'm saying the animal that you find in abundance here in this, I don't know what you call it, the forest that is before us here, yeah. It's foxes. Oh. So the Most High has actually put us in the midst of foxes.
Oh.
But there's something again that I see. The willow trees, when you enter, that they are put actually at the entrance of where we stay.
Yes.
Now, if you read what it says about the willow tree, let me just read this. What does the willow tree symbolize in the Bible?
Yes.
It says the willow tree symbolizes flexibility. A big part of your purpose in this world is to learn, grow, evolve through the challenging times of adversities The willow tree is capable of bending in outrageous poses without snapping, as we humans are capable of doing the same on mental, emotional, and spiritual level. So I'm seeing that, and this actually willow tree that we have here is the willow rose. One of the characteristics of it is that it can withstand the ground, so it's always green. So the Most High has put us in the midst of foxes and has put willow trees to show us that we have to be like those willow trees to withstand all of the challenges that the foxes that we have here can throw at us.
Wow.
Yeah. I remember even Georgie saying one night they saw something that looked like a fox running through here and the dogs running after it here. So that is actually symbolic of what is happening to us right now. We had an invasion of foxes because the Most High has actually put us in the midst of foxes. But he didn't just put us there. He gave us the willow trees to tell us that this is the character that we need to have in order to survive all the attacks that are coming from the foxes. Actually.
Wow.
Shalom.
That's powerful. That's powerful. So we have the physical foxes and we have the spiritual foxes. Wow. Oh, somebody else has something to say? Armstrong? I know you're not going to say this. Oh. All right. Yes, it's a lot to take in, but you can watch this video again. Yes, Z. I know it's gonna be a lot because we're trying to hurry to pack in as much in as little time. So you can go back and watch it again so you can get more understanding. Okay? All right, so this is Kazakh Eliyahu Yasharal. And until next time, Shalom.